I'm really glad for the setup, so I don't have to think.
Yeah, and I'm glad because I don't want you to be nervous. I want you to like really. It's kind of like you and I. We've had a couple of conversations. We could have recorded our first conversation.
Hmm.
That would have been an amazing podcast, right? Because it was just two people kind of getting to know each other.
Yeah,
That's what it's about. That's what this is only about, you know.
yeah, we could have recorded Ashanti struggling how to figure out Discord.
And the young man teaching the old man how to find a channel and a all the language I learned that day. That was definitely a great experience.
Uh,
Welcome to the Taking Off the Mask podcast. My name is Ashanti Branch, and I'm really glad you've joined us. Today's guest is Leo. Listen, I don't know where you were as a sophomore in high school. We're bringing a lot of young energy to this space right now in these mask conversations. But Leo's a sophomore at a high school here in the Bay Area. He is very thoughtful. This conversation takes some really exciting journeys. There was deep down a question I wanted to ask, and because this is not really an interview, I kind of backed off and didn't ask the question about how he navigates this really tough time in our city, in our Bay Area. But one thing he did talk about was having these conversations with his friends and knowing that something's going on with them and figuring out how to like not saying anything. One of the questions we talked about was from the Ever Forward Club, the Adventure, the card game, and hopefully you'll hear in his voice the trepidation of like trying to answer a question about deep personal things and knowing that it's complicated. And my work in not only the mask movement is to give people space to go where they're able to go in the moment. I'm really thankful for him. There's lots of things he said in this podcast that are actually really remarkable, especially with him trying to be not introverted, but feeling like very much an introvert. I don't think you would notice any introversion in this conversation from him. But I am proud of him for being willing to be a part of this experience. And I hope you enjoy this episode. If you know anyone younger man in your life who could benefit from hearing from another youth and recognizing that they're not alone, that the things that they go through and deal with are human, and that the difference between me and him, I tell him, is I've had a lot more breaths taken on this earth, and hopefully in this conversation, and maybe you get to hear some of his experiences, and I really hope that you will share this with somebody. Um, if you're subscribed to this already, please tell someone else about it so that they can be a part of these conversations with young men and men from all over the world. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with us. And if you right now, I just want to tell you, like coming up this weekend, May 29th and 30th, this is going to be the 24-hour relay challenge, our 17th annual. We really want you to be a part of it. Even if you just come and check out the live stream, we're going to put out some live challenges that people can take a part of. So on Wednesday, you can go to one of our social media platforms and you'll be able to find the information, or go to our website, everforwardclub.org, and take one of the challenges. Do one of them. Share it on social media or send it to us by email or through one of the forums so that we can engage you in being a part of this worldwide movement. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for listening to people around you and asking good questions. Have a great day. Please enjoy the show. Welcome to the Taking Off the Mask podcast. My name is Ashanti Branch, and I'm really glad you've joined us. Today's guest is Leo. Listen, I am so glad to be in this conversation today. I can tell you one thing about Leo, that he taught me how to use Discord. And for those of you that don't know what Discord is, you need a Leo in your life to learn, because it's a little complicated. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and I'm so glad for you, Leo, for being on the show today.
all right. Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Leo. I am in 10th grade. I'm 17 years old, and I'm turning 18 soon, in like, I don't know, 4 months. I don't know. A little intro to, I guess. I'm Chinese. I was born in China, and I came here. and when I was 7 with my family. That was like a huge turning point in my life. So I'm glad to have that experience. Um, Little quick interest thing. I'm a big gamer. I play a lot of games. All my friends are gamers pretty much because, well, I mean, they need to be gamers or else I wouldn't talk to them. Uh, it's kind of hard to be close to people that doesn't share the same interests, I guess. So yeah.
Awesome. Right on, man. Well, there's a lot to that because I appreciate your check in. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. You actually won. I want to say you maybe our first guest who actually told where you're like where they were from. People just like normally told their little bio. So thank you for checking in with where you're from. And I'm excited about this conversation. Leo and I met when I was doing a workshop at his school. And I've made an offer to thousands of students around the world to, hey, here's my email, reach out if you want to connect, if you want to be a part of this movement. And Leo emailed me. Like it was like such a beautiful exchange. Like it was like, oh man, somebody emailed, right? When you give out your email to thousands of people and no one really uses it, you're like, maybe one day. And so when I got Leo's email, I was super excited. And we've had several conversations. Like I said, he taught me how to use Discord. He's actually going to be a gamer for our 24-hour relay challenge coming up next weekend. We're super excited about that. And I'm excited about this conversation because, one of the things that we get to do with young people and definitely young men in this taking off the mask experience is talk about our masks. And I told Leo, don't be nervous. Like you're the expert of whatever we're going to talk about. And I'm excited. So are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Well, you got a piece of paper handy? Got a piece of paper?
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right. So I'm gonna have you fold it in half, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna label the left and right. So
Hmm.
the left will be front, and the right will be back. And for any of you out there who want to make a mask, you can actually make your mask digitally. You can go to 100kmasks.com and you can make a mask digitally, anonymous, and be a part of the 50,000 people around the world who have made masks. And so we look forward to you being a part of our movement as well. All right, Leo, here we go. So the left side is going to be the front, and the right side will be the back. Okay.
Hmm.
And what the first step is I want you to draw a mask. So on the left side, just take a minute or so and draw a mask.
All right, just like a standard mask. Like, how big do you want it? Just like a mask?
Yeah, so you get to decide.
Okay, I'll just
You get to
like
decide.
a half size, kind of half of the page mask, I guess. Huh. I still remember, like, I never like before you came to the workshop and like I guess a few months ago.
Yeah.
I remember you coming like to the school, like my middle school, like when I was in
Oh,
7th or 8th grade or something.
yeah. What middle
Uh,
school did you go to?
the Stroll for boys.
Ah, yes, yes. When we had it in the chapel there, I think it was not the
Yeah,
chapel. Yeah, that echoey room.
yeah, that room. I didn't remember your name because like I don't know, that was a while ago. But I remember the mass like you live in. So
Oh man, did you all? I think when I came to your school, you probably had pieces of paper that you balled up. Did you all have a snowball fight?
I don't really remember. I just remember that we all got in like little groups and we talked. And then one of
Yeah,
my guys in my groups was one of my closest friends.
yeah,
So I got to know a bit more about him. And then one of my like just classmate friends.
yeah.
He was like bawling his eyes out. So I still remember. So
Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I'm glad it was a meaningful experience for you, man. I think a couple of times we've come to the middle school there, we had cards, and what people would do, they would walk around and pass around these cards. And
mhm.
then before that, we would have pieces of paper where they would ball them up and throw them at each other. So, man, you've seen part of the journey. So I'm excited. I'm excited. You saw our digital version and you saw
Yeah,
our in person version. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I really wanted to do the circles, on the Zoom, but it was kind of hard. When you send teenagers into Zoom rooms, you can't really monitor what they're going to talk about. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
I was like, man, if at least if I'm walking around, I can't really control it, but I can at least I think you all had each one had one adult in each group,
Mhm.
to make it,
Yeah.
to make some space. But man, well, I'm glad you've seen both sides of our work, and now you get to see this part, which is the part that even goes out to the world in a different way.
Yeah, I think the in-person experience was just like a whole kind of different environment, and I thought that was like really important for some people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We can't wait. We can't wait. Hopefully 2021, 2022 school year we'll be back, so
Yeah,
that we
definitely going back to school next year. So
excellent, excellent. Are you virtual right now?
I am. I'm virtual because like I was just sticking through it for this year because I already was doing it and it's
Yeah.
like not too bad, and it's at the end, so like might as well just finish this and then
Nice.
go back next year start.
Well, I'm excited you're gonna go back, man. Well, you probably even know the next step. You probably know the next step of what we're gonna do on the front. You know the words we're gonna write on the front?
I kind of remember.
All right. All right. You wanna try? You wanna tell me what we're gonna do next?
I think this is the part where you like write the stuff you show.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Exactly right. So the front is the things that we gladly let the world see about us. So basically, we're going to write 3 words or phrases that are qualities of ourselves that
Hmm.
we gladly let the world see. Okay. So let's do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this just as many things
Oh,
as I
just
can think
three.
of?
Just three.
Oh, just
Just
three.
three.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right,
If you got
three.
more, it's fine. But three. We only ask for three. We tell people like this activity is really simple, but it may not be easy. It's
Hmm.
just one picture plus 6 words, and so we're trying to. And this is our next step. And I'm excited to be talking to you because maybe you have some ideas on how we're going to get more people to make these masks.
Hmm.
But and then we're going to move to the back now. The back is different than the front. Do you want to give a shot at telling what the back is?
Oh, tell in the back. It's
No, no,
the
no, no. Do you want? Yeah, yeah. Just describe what we're supposed to do on the back.
All right. So on the back we have to. Well, we should write the stuff that we don't normally show, but like kind of we keep deep inside, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's even beautiful. And we just tell people, things you don't normally show, right? If
Hmm.
you tell, I think if I tell people the things you keep deep inside, they think I'm trying to tell them to tell their deepest stuff. And I just want you to tell anything that you don't normally talk about. So that's what we try and help people to do. So the back is exactly that. And you did a good job explaining it. The things we normally talk about, we don't normally let people see. So let's go
Hmm.
ahead and do the back now. You only need 3. Yeah, 3 is good. Hmm. How you doing there?
I have like 2 out of 3.
Okay, well
Um,
let's stay with 2 then. Stay with 2. No
yeah.
pressure. Pressure.
Huh.
No pressure. Thank
I
you
don't
for
know.
that.
I think I'm mostly pretty open. Like I've been opening myself up like in the last like 2 years. So I don't
Good.
know. It's not too much I'm hiding, but
I'm glad. That means you found good people around you. I'm guessing you found good people to be in your circle, or you got people you can trust.
yeah, that's for certain. Everybody's growing up, so I guess have people to rely on. So
Hmm. I'm interested in that because earlier you said um, when you talked about your friends online, you said they probably wouldn't be your friends if they weren't gamers.
well, it's like it's more like because I live kind of far away from the school.
Ah, okay.
It's like I can't really keep closer relationships with people who aren't doing the sit like playing games at home.
Got it. Got it. Okay, cool. I was interested in that. Well, I'm excited, man. This is we get to now talk about our masks. And you get
Yeah.
to decide as a guest who goes first. So either you go first or you want me to go first, but it's your choice as the guest.
Um, I would like to have you go first.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this paper back. I'm just gonna show the front first, and then I'll talk about the back. So I'll go front, and then I'll have you show the front of yours, and then I'll go to the back, and then you go to the back of yours. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So here we go. So here is I'm gonna show a picture of it. This is what I drew today. I think I was kind of trying to draw a cape or something with the mask. I don't know, but here are my words. I wrote caring, serious, and hardworking. And I normally write funny. I don't know why I didn't write funny today. Caring is a new one. So caring is starting to lead a little bit more than other words. normally hardworking is first. I don't know. I'm interested in how I put them in a different order today, but these are the qualities that I gladly show. Right, I'm really
Mhm.
serious, and I'm serious more about work. Right, I try to be fun and laid back when I'm having conversation with students or friends. Um, but like around this work, like I'm really hardworking and I take it really serious. But sometimes I may take it too
Uh-huh.
serious. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, those are the qualities that I gladly let people see. All
Mhm.
right. Yeah.
Right.
You ready?
Do I should?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right, here's my mask. Hopefully you can kind of see. It's just like a really really standard mask.
Yeah, it's
um
perfect.
but um I guess one of the things was I was trying to be like more confident, um confident in myself and like what I do at least. And
Yeah.
like I guess recently in the last few years I've been trying to like polish up my skills, um and trying to get better at things so I'm able to be more confident. um
Nice.
and then the second one is trying to seem like I'm not really introverted, even though I'm pretty introverted. Um,
Mm,
I don't know. I like talk to tons of people, but like that's I don't know. I feel like that's generally not what an introverts do. But like I tried to like get out of my comfort zone. So
awesome. Awesome.
um, and the third one, which I try my best to do, is to also be caring.
Mm,
Um, like I'm not as good as other things, but in terms of caring, I'm pretty good.
awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to say, man, I mean, the fact that you're on this show is definitely a testament to you pushing yourself to be not introverted, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think the hardest part of being like an introvert is trying to find things to say. Um,
mm,
that's what makes me nervous a lot of times. Like if I'm talking about something I'm good at, I would be a lot more open. Like when I'm talking about Discord and stuff or the stuff
yeah,
I use tons, I'm definitely a lot more fluent than if I'm just talking.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, today you're the expert of you, so I think you have plenty to say, right?
Hopefully, I'm the expert of me. That's uh,
Well, I imagine I believe you are. I believe you are. I believe we all have even if we sometimes feel like we're under the control of others in some ways, like especially as a sophomore in high school who's like trying to figure it out, and probably many sophomores don't believe they have a lot of autonomy or a lot of sovereignty to decide for themselves. But there's so many things we get to decide.
mhm,
Some things even though I didn't have a lot of, my mom was in charge and she made all these rules, but I could decide I got a lot of things I could decide.
mhm, yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Thank you, man. I'm gonna come back to that idea about having good decisions. I'm gonna put that right here as a note to come back to that because I think that's really actually pretty interesting. All right, here we go. We're gonna go to the back now. You ready? I'm gonna
yeah,
go first. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first. Okay, here we go. All right, so the back of my math. Let me see if I can get closer. Okay, so I wrote fear of failure. I wrote not a good writer, and I wrote sadness about death. Um, and those are the ones that I think about a lot. Like, so fear of failure. I mean, I think the reason I'm so hardworking and I'm so serious is because I don't want to fail, right? And I'm not talking about having like a mini fail. Like I've had many fails.
mhm.
I've had many plural many fails. But like I think that failure is part of success, right? If you don't, you're gonna learn through the failures. It's not a failure if you quit, right? It's not a failure if you
Mhm,
keep going. It's just like a lesson.
yeah,
So I have a fear of failure, and I don't know. I don't mind making mistakes, but I don't want to like overall like I have this goal of building this nonprofit, right? So
mhm,
I fear like I fear the idea that sometimes like what if I were to go do something else because it didn't grow like I wanted it to grow, or I couldn't raise all the money we needed to raise.
mhm,
I wonder if I would feel like a failure. Like like I'm thinking it's like it's either you do this or nothing, right?
Mhm.
I have to dance between that idea sometimes. Oh wait, yeah, not a good writer. I believe in parentheses because it's a story that I'm telling myself. Some people say, "Oh, dude, when you write I see your post on blah blah blah. Those are really cool." I'm like, really? Like, I think in my mind, I don't believe I'm a good writer, and then it kind of holds me back from writing because I'm trying to write a book right now. Well,
Mhm.
I'm talking about writing a book, um, but I'm getting better at the actual writing process.
Mhm.
And then sadness about death. I think my father, he died before I was born, so I hold a lot of sadness inside that I try and I wish I could turn off sometimes. But that's the back of my mask, man. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah. I I guess I also have share some of those things, but I feel like kind of my own principles are a little different, just like because we're different people.
yeah.
Um, I think that my personal thing is that while I do also not like failure, it's more like being angry that I failed instead of being like really scared of failing, because I personally believe that as long as I do everything I can just be happy in the end,
Mm,
even if I fail. So it's like if I applied enough to like job interviews and stuff, and even if I don't get any, at least I did my best effort. Well, as long as I did my best effort, right?
yeah.
So I'm not like totally scared about that stuff. I don't know.
Mm,
It's kind of my like motto to like just kind of try really, really hard in order to not feel regrets, right?
yeah. I like that. I mean, I think thank you for sharing. Anger of failure. So is it more of an anger of failure than the fear of it?
Yeah.
Mm,
It's just like I failed.
mm,
I gotta do try again or something. Like it's not really like I don't really want to fail. That's kind of thing, you know.
yeah. Cool. Cool. Right on. Thank you.
Because I play games, right? I fail so goddamn much. It's like crazy. Okay, I've lost so many games before that it's just like, you know what? I did my best. So
Man, and maybe that's a quality of gamers that they have to learn how to like get over it, right? You can't like be like throwing your control. I was gonna say keyboard, throwing your controller at the wall, and now you have no controller because you got so mad.
yeah,
I'm sure people do that too, though.
yeah. Because I play like CS:GO. I'm not sure if you know it, but basically there's a ranked game mode where you like kind of climb and like you don't want to lose, right? You could climb
Okay.
the ladder and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I have like I don't know 600, 700 wins, but
Nice.
there's like probably more than that in losses. And like those games each take like I don't know 30 minutes, 30 40 minutes, so it's just like a ton of work. It's just like I fail, but like I do really well in the game, so it's like, I did my best and I
Yeah.
don't mind. So,
I mean, that's beautiful. I think that's a great. I mean, that's a great principle to even think about, right? Like,
mhm.
I know that I'm investing this time. That I have more failure, more losses than wins, but I'm focusing on the wins, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm focusing more on the effort I put in and how much like how much more I can put in next time.
Yeah. I think they say that Michael Jordan missed way more shots than he ever made, but we don't know him for missing shots, right?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
know him for all the ones he made, right? And I think maybe that's something to be said about yourself, right? Like as a gamer, as like 700 wins. That's amazing in anything, right? Whether it's tennis, backpacking, right? Whether it's tic tac toe, 700 wins is a lot of lessons learned.
Yeah, that's for sure. I guess I kind of apply that to like a lot of other things. Like, I don't know. A lot of people apply it, I think, to like going to the gym and stuff and like
Mm,
lifting weights.
yeah.
It's more about the process instead of how much weight you can lift. So,
Mm, man, you got some great metaphors here. Well, let's jump in after. Let's jump in. You want to show the back of your mask? And I think we're
sure.
already. I think we're already jumping into more about you that we didn't know before. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
great.
So this is just the back. Hopefully you can see it. Is it
Okay.
mirrored? I don't know.
No, I see it. I see it the right
Okay.
way. Yeah.
It says observant, uncertain-ish, and trying. These aren't like complete words, but I guess they fit.
Yeah.
Um, because I feel like for observant, I'm pretty open and I joke a lot. So um, I think a lot of less people know that I see a lot of things when
Yeah.
they like talk and stuff. Like in a friend group, I would joke a lot, right? But I would also like be really careful about the reactions of other people,
Mm,
and like whatever everything else in the conversation. So it's like I don't know. Don't show everything I know, I guess, for that, and
yeah.
sometimes that's annoying.
That's really cool. When you say you don't show everything you know, like so you're not the quiet observant. You're actually a communicator and you're observant. You're both.
It's like yeah, I well, it kind of goes into the caring part because
Mm,
I would say that I see a lot of stuff around me, and it's like sometimes I see too much, and that's really painful. But um, yeah, I don't know. It also kind of goes into me overthinking sometimes with
mm,
just having too much information.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Would you be willing to just share a little bit about when you say that, like things that are painful, things that you've seen too much of that that show up as painful experiences?
Um, I guess painful. It's not like completely like I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I would say it's more like kind of noticing like subtle things just here and there, and then like kind of understanding the situation, but you can't really like speak out on things because
Mm,
it's not really your part, I guess.
mm,
And that's really annoying because sometimes I just wish I didn't see that
mm.
or hear that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, I think you're getting closer. I think. I'm, are you willing to go a little deeper? Because I think that this is actually really powerful, right? Like the things that when you talk about I can't speak out, there's a question that we have in the new game we created, and one of the questions we asked a group of students last week was actually Monday of this week in Alameda. The question was, when was a time where you could have you should have said something but you didn't speak up, right? That's actually one of the questions. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go get it. Hold on a second. I'm gonna show you.
All right.
And and this is like one of the. I don't think people in podcasts normally get up in the middle of a podcast. It's actually probably pretty different. So I don't know if we're gonna keep this or not, but it was right there on the table. So this is a game called Ever Forward Club: The Adventure. This is one of the challenge cards,
Hmm.
and this is one of the questions. This is the big boss question, which means it's like the highest point value. So this is worth 1 or 5 points. And this is the question. You see the big boss at the top of the stairs right there? Let me see.
Yeah, I see
See him?
him.
He's blocking the cave. Like if you want to get out of the cave, you got to pass the big boss. That's what it is. But it says, um, when did you not speak up, but you know you really should have? And I think that's kind of what you were talking about, right? Like
Yeah.
you've seen stuff and you said, I can't speak out. It's not my situation, but I feel it. There's some pain in there. Would you be
Um.
willing to share a time when you should have spoken up, but you didn't?
Yeah, I think this is stuff just like about my friends and stuff. A little bit. It's like I don't know. They're hinting at. Well, they're not like consciously hinting at things. It's just like they're suggesting that they're gonna like I don't know hang out without me or something like that. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to phrase, but
No, I got it. Thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I know it's tricky, right? It's like as a teacher, when I have students write, I was a math teacher, so my job is to teach math. But sometimes I would have students write things, and sometimes they would write something, and there would be so much in the writing, right? And I'm like, you're thinking like, okay, they wrote this to me. How much do
mhm.
I? How should I bring this back to them? How
Mhm.
should I come back to them with a to have a conversation about it? Um, and I think that just maybe even like coming back to them, I'm not taking it to anyone else, but I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes maybe they're telling us because they want somebody to like intervene or at least check in with them.
Mhm.
I think that is something that I'm always constantly working on. Right, like when I go to these workshops and I invite, students are talking about their heart. Students are like opening up, and it's like, oh, thank you. And more than anything, I just say thank you. Right? I don't. They didn't bring it to me to try and fix it, so I say thank you, and I always tell them like, if you want to reach out, please do. And I'll be glad to
Mhm.
have a conversation. I think sometimes we just need to know we can go to somebody and talk about stuff that we're really going through, and
Mhm.
we won't be judged, or we won't at least be able. If at least they don't judge us. They may want to help us, but they won't like be like, "Oh, there's something wrong with you," as opposed to like, "Hey, tell me how can I support you?" Right?
Mhm. Yeah. I think that like reaching out is like one of the hardest things to do. Um, like I don't know, just me emailing you was kind of hard. Like I was like torn between like, do I really want to do this? I don't know, right? And it's also like especially reaching out for something like I don't know, emotional help and stuff. Because I remember I personally did this with my friend. I had to ask him for like just like a heart to heart a bit ago. Um, I don't know. Literally just asking got me emotional. So yeah, I think I don't know. It's like a really hard step to take, but it feels really good after you take it. So I suggest taking it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for doing. What did your friend say when you went to him and asked for a heart to heart? What did the person say?
Just yes, definitely.
Oh, that's a win right there. Oh, I'm so glad you did that. Were you in your mind worried that the friend wouldn't have time, or they would be too busy, or they would say no?
I wasn't too worried because this is like my closest ever friend, pretty
Hmm.
much,
Yeah.
and you know, um, yeah, I just needed to get some stuff out in my chest, so that was
Yeah.
like, yeah, big thing.
But even then, like even if it was your closest friend, like you were still nervous, right?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah, because
imagine,
I don't often like speak out too much. I guess I'm pretty open, but that's like for I don't know, very general things, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
starting to be more like open with my thoughts and like criticism, I guess. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't know. I'm working on it.
Well, it sounds like you're making progress. I mean, it sounds like, and hopefully, let me ask this: do you ever have friends who come to you and ask you, or do you ever ask your friends? Like, you can see something's going on a little bit, you don't know, but you're like, I'm noticing something. Do you ever go to them and say, "Hey, you want to talk about something?" Do you ever like offer that?
Um, I definitely did that a lot more last year when I could like actually see them.
Yeah,
It's really hard to judge whether they're having like a just a little bad of a day,
yeah,
just based on their voice, right, on Discord.
yeah,
But I would say I try my best to care, because I really do care, for them. But because like I don't really have like too big of a friend group. I just have like 5 or 6 friends that I'm actively talk to.
yeah,
Um, and it's not too difficult to care for everybody. It's just like sending me a message, and I think that's a lot helpful.
yeah. Well, I'm so I think what I'm hoping and what you've learned, right? Like you participated in our first workshop back when you were in middle school. So now, say 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whoever maybe 3 or 4 years ago,
Hmm.
and and I imagine what I hope is that all the young men in that space who came into that workshop were at least also like, as they realize, the young man who's in your circle who let himself be seen, who let himself cry. Like, I think it's so important. It's so valuable, right? It's probably valuable to other young men in that circle. Was like,
Hmm.
oh my goodness, like he has
Yeah.
feelings, right? Or wow. So I mean, we can do okay, and then it gives other people permission to say, oh, this is so. And I think when I do that, when we see that in workshops, I'm so happy for those young men and for all students, but definitely your workshop was all young men, and
Mhm.
um, it's so beautiful that we can create the space so that they can like be seen. You know.
Yeah, I think it was like a lot more important that it was like back in that first workshop, right? I had that everybody was kind of people that grew up together, basically, because it's all like the Sturt Hall is kind of a K to 12 school if
Yeah.
you include the high school, right? So it's like a lot of these people, not including me, of course. I transferred in like later, but kind of grew up since kindergarten, first grade, right?
Hmm.
So
And then you realize you only barely know somebody, right?
yeah, I try. I think I tried my best, but yeah, there's a lot of things to people. So
Yeah, there is way more than we can see by looking at each other, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Man, I'm so thankful for you, man. I really appreciate you. I think. Do you have any questions for me?
Not exactly. I guess one question. What do you actually teach? I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, I taught math. I'm not a teacher anymore. Right now, I run this organization. I'm the
Mhm.
executive director. I'm the founder of it, but I'm the executive director.
Mhm.
So most of the teaching I do when I go to workshops like yours is um, I show people really this really simple activity. What we just did, this mask, right?
Mhm.
And the only way I'm able to get people to do the mask, I think I try and start first. I try and like tell a story about myself. I really try and help them see that I'm not here just to make you do something just for doing its sake, but that
Mhm.
hopefully you recognize that there's more to you and there's more to me. Like you can, when I walk into somebody's Zoom room, right? All they see is this background and they see this presence, right?
Mhm.
But there's way more going on with me. I usually try and help disarm this idea that even when people read my bio and I'm like, oh man, it sounds like a highlight reel, you know? But I know for me, like I got a lot of stuff going on that's not doesn't sound like that, you know?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
how do we humanize each other, whether I'm an adult and you're younger or not? Like I tell young people the only difference between me and you is I've taken more breaths on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Like I just because I'm older doesn't mean I have more experiences. It doesn't mean I've seen more, like I've done more. It just means I've had a lot more time to take breaths on this earth, and the question is, have I used those breaths well? And I've
Mhm.
I've tried to do that. So I think my teaching is really about human connection. Like we built up this movement, right? We have this
Mhm.
global movement, and we're trying to grow it, And so, yeah, I hope I just teach people to be more kind to each other, right? To be
Mhm.
more respectful to each other, to know that you can only see what I let you see. And you may make judgments about stuff I didn't let you see. So you may see me and you be like, okay, this person's like that. But I also know that we got good masks, right?
Mhm.
I can
Yeah.
smile. I smile when I'm not happy, you know? Why do we do that? Well, because maybe we've been taught that no one wants to hear your problems. So yeah. So that's what I think I teach. But I'm always a math nerd at heart. I love math. Anytime I see some kind of cool math thing, I get all excited, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a math teacher at one point.
Hmm.
And now I teach emotions. You know what I'm saying?
So the opposite of math.
I teach the thing that math evokes in some people on earth, right? People like,
Yeah.
oh, I hate math. I'm like, oh, I want to work with you,
This is
right?
the recovery class after math.
That's right. It's the post finals. Let's have a talk. Let's have a talk. Let's have a talk. I had
Yeah.
many students when I was a math teacher came to me really distraught about and I taught at public schools. I taught at private schools. Like I've seen the students come to me after the test and like I am really distraught. And I'm like, okay, well, it's okay. Let's look. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna. What do like? You're gonna have to work a little harder, but tell me how I can help you. Let's start. Let's create a
Yeah.
plan. And yeah. Do you like math?
Uh, Not particularly.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's interesting sometimes some of the concepts, but like it kind of depends on how they're taught, I guess, and whether they make sense and I kind of apply to the
Yeah.
world. Because sometimes like they're just like just. out there concepts where it's like I'm never gonna come in contact with those until like very later on, and it's
Yeah.
like I can't really put that in my head, right? Other than for the class. So,
I wonder, do you know what you want to study? Do you know what you want to do? Have you thought about that yet? 2 more years left of this journey. Do you know? Have you already thought about the next steps?
I'm thinking of going into like kind of being like a something in the medical field. I think.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not exactly sure what. I've thought of being like studying like psychology and stuff.
Mm,
Um, not really sure what the goal after that is, but or and I'm starting and I've thought of studying like kind of medicine here and there to be a doctor or something, but I don't know. It's
okay.
it's like somewhere around there, but I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah, and you got time. You got time. No pressure. But and I wonder, maybe thinking about the psychology part. I'm not a psychologist, but a lot of our work is dealing with people's connection between the head and heart, right? The
Mhm.
feelings, emotions, well being, um, and so maybe even thinking about what that can look like if you do like an internship, right? If you do
Mhm.
some kind of program. We have an internship actually this summer. It's called the Social Emotional Leadership Academy, and so maybe you'll be a part of the academy this summer. What do you have plans for this summer?
For this summer, I have like one thing lined up, and that's the I don't know you know this, but the Breakthrough SF program.
Mm,
It's like an academic program here in SF where well, I mean it just helps like 5th to 8th graders, and it's like I'm part of the
mm,
like volunteer leadership program or whatever, but we get
nice,
paid. But
nice. That's
um,
great.
yeah, I didn't honestly expect to get paid. I just thought I saw that it was just like wow, lots of service hours, but I guess I'm getting paid.
Okay.
That's like 6 weeks. Um, so
As
yeah.
tutoring, is that like tutoring? You helping
Yeah, it's like
students with their
tutoring and then like leading some activities and stuff. Maybe leading some electives, like you know, I could do like chess or whatever.
nice. You play chess.
I recently not as much. I still play a lot of puzzles, but
Okay.
yeah, not as much like with other people.
Okay. Maybe one day when we meet face to face, we'll play chess one day.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, man, you know what? I just want to thank you for being on the show. Is there any last thing you want to say? Like, how about one of the things when we close out the show is always just a way for each of us to just kind of close out. Is there anything you want to say as you close out? And um, thank you for being here today. I want to first thank you for being here and being a part of this conversation. I think one thing I appreciate about you is that email that you didn't want to send, that you sent it anyway. Right? I think it says something about you and your decision to be not introverted. Right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm putting this out there. I asked you in the room. I think for those of you that don't know the workshops we do, in Ever Forward, we do these workshops called Taking Off the Mask. And at the end of the workshop, I think Leo made a comment, and I think I asked him a question. I said, "Can I ask you a question?" I don't remember all the words, but I do remember saying to him, "Hey, I hope you reach out and like stay in touch." And my email's right there in the chat if you want to reach out. I look forward to hearing from you. And like I said, I've done that so many times that I'm never, and no one taking me up on the offer usually. So when I got his email, I was like, yeah, I
Well,
was
it's
so
like it also kind of goes for me as well because like while like you haven't like had someone emailed you out of so many times, I like also didn't expect to be called out out of those like tons of people, right? That's like the entire was that the entire I don't know how many people that was, but that was a lot of people. And I don't
yeah,
usually get called for these, so I was actually just really surprised and it was like kind of like going into the I don't know, trying no regrets thing. I was
mm,
just like, might as well, right? Just go
yeah.
for it because you already reached out. And I might as well just finish it.
It was magic. Maybe everything happens for a reason, right? I think you happen to be in the right spot on the screen. So when I was looking for a volunteer or somebody that wanted to volunteer,
Yeah,
I was like, let me call you, and you were willing, right? I mean, you know, you could have been like, no, I can't really answer. You could have been like, no, I don't really do that. There's too many people here. You could have done a lot of things, and I would have had to pick somebody else. But you were willing, right? You were like willing a participant, And I think
Mhm.
sometimes it's that part. It's like, how do we break past the introvertedness? We gotta be less introverted, right? We have to sometimes it happens as we mature, just with age and more breaths on the earth. But sometimes it comes out like, okay, somebody gave me an opportunity. Let me try it. Let me try it. And then you
Yeah.
realize, oh, I didn't die. Oh my god! Like I'm still in one piece, right? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, no one
Yeah.
laughed, right? No one like, oh man, all these things that I've told myself that were gonna happen as a result, and none of that happened. So,
Yeah.
um,
I think I'm doing it like a lot of things kind of just just in my head to say like yeah I did that. Um I live like on the very far edges of San Francisco, like
okay,
literally like few blocks from Daly City, and
yeah,
the school is in Pacific Heights area.
okay.
And one of my other friends' houses were like next to the school ish. And one day I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna walk to school or walk to my friend's house, and I did that just to say I did that, and that was like really fun. But
How long was the walk?
2 hours.
Oh, oh man, you see a lot of the city that way, huh?
Yeah, I was like running through the entire like city pretty much. I don't know how I lasted, but that was so tiring. I think for the next like 3 days, my calves were just dead. So,
Well, see that's a memory you'll never forget, right? And
yeah,
now you're on the Taking Off the Mask podcast. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Man, what's up? Let me think. Let me do a scan back. I'm thinking we had a high school senior who's graduating last week on the show. I want to say, are you our youngest participant on the podcast? Let me see. Sophomore. Have we had a sophomore on here? Jonathan has been evading me. Jonathan is a freshman. We haven't got Jonathan on here yet. So, where Jonathan is gonna, I think you may be like our in grade wise. I think you may be our youngest participant, and I'm excited because, and I thank you for being pushing past the introvertedness to
hmm
like do this. Right. This is even before like you already going to be doing gaming for us for the relay. You know,
Yeah.
like you
I think
already.
honestly, like a lot of like YouTube videos helped because I think I was trying to like I don't know get more I don't know, get better as a person when I was like graduating eighth grade into ninth grade.
Yeah.
And I was like watching tons of YouTube videos over the summer on like how to be more charismatic and stuff.
Mm,
Um, there's this YouTube channel called Yes Theory. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I have. Why have I heard of them? Did you tell me about them?
Probably not.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Yes Theory. They
But
do.
they're like
They travel
really
around the
cool.
world. Yeah.
They
Tell me
do,
about
they
them.
travel out around the world a lot, but like especially they do a lot of like just stuff that
Mm,
is kind of uncomfortable,
yeah.
and they were kind of cool. And then I don't know, their motto is literally just seek discomfort. I thought that was
Mm.
pretty cool. And there's this other thing called charisma on command. This
Charisma
YouTube,
on command.
yeah, this YouTube channel, and it's
Okay.
just like kind of outlining basic things on how to like, I don't know, be more confident and less like or more assured of yourself without seeming like as really cocky and stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know.
man, that's
Yeah,
a fine line sometimes, right?
yeah.
Between confidence and cockiness. And I like that, man. I like that seek discomfort. I think I remember seeing one of their videos where they sold shirts that say that on it, don't they?
Well, they probably do. I mean,
Oh,
lots
okay.
of
Well,
people have merch, so I don't know.
that's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe you can help us get in touch with them. Maybe we can invite them to make masks.
Well, they're kind of a huge YouTube channel, but
Well, hey, I
um,
mean, shoot, they're only like a email away, right? So they may never read
yeah,
it, but maybe okay. If you find their email address or their, I'm sure they have a website or something. All right, okay. So you just get me excited. We're already thinking of ideas. All right, so we're gonna find a way. We're gonna find a way to just get a message out to them. I think they have an Instagram page too. Okay,
yeah,
all right. Well,
I think so.
that's be our next project. Maybe we'll get them to like shout you out since you're going to be live, you're one of their fans, you kind of teaching me about them. I just learned about them like a little bit before, but right now, maybe you can be like, hey, you know what? I've been watching your shows for this many years. I just sought discomfort. I just sought discomfort and was on my first podcast.
Uh,
And man, can we do it? Let's do it. Let's do
uh,
it.
oh, yeah.
That's a little too much discomfort right there. He's like, no,
That's a lot of discomfort.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
all right. Well, we'll back off. We'll back off. But, when you start going small ideas, they get bigger and bigger. It's like snowball, right? So
Yeah,
just be careful when you start getting excited about doing new things.
yeah. I
All
would say
right.
that when I'm like slightly or like nervous and stuff, I would sweat a lot more. I'm like 200% focused to not mess up, and
Yeah.
I feel a lot more hot right now than I would be normally playing games. Uh, yeah,
Well, the beauty right now is you can't mess up because you're just being you, and I think that's perfect. So thank you.
thank you. Yeah, for inviting me.
Yeah.
I would have never thought I would be on podcast. So
Well, what would you like to say as you close out? What would you like to say to people out there listening to the show? What do you want to say to other sophomores who are trying to like navigate that introvertedness and trying to break out? Like, what is a word of encouragement you would say to folks out there?
um, I guess one thing that's important that I kind of stuck with it's not bad to be a tryhard. It's high school, and basically, it's like people don't really like tryhards, right? It's like they stick out too much sometimes, but like it's better to stick out sometimes than to be ordinary, and it's like might as well, right? It's high school. You're not like you don't have a job yet or whatever, and it's just like might as well do everything you can and try your hardest to get as good as you can before you're doing other things. And yeah, I mean, I'm part of me is like, and this goes to like playing video games and stuff because I personally really like playing story games and that kind of single player experience.
Yeah.
So I go for like the full experience. So basically, that just also is in line with like having no regrets and doing everything, just literally doing everything and pray for the best. And that's kind of my motto.
Awesome. Awesome. Either stick out versus being ordinary. I love that. And go for the best. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Leo, for being on the show today. Folks, if you know somebody, a young person in your life who could benefit from hearing Leo's message, please share this with them. Please let them hear it as well. We invite you to tell somebody about this podcast. And if you're around next weekend, the 24-hour relay challenge, May 29th and 30th. Leo's going to be live streaming. He's going to invite some of his gamer friends to be live streaming as well. They're going to help us raise money for not only the Million Mask movement, but also 5 other organizations who are serving their communities. And so thank you. Thank you, Leo, for being here today. I'm very proud of you, man. Let's do this. We're just going to show our masks, right? You can just hold it up there, and then we're trying to figure out how to do this. So
like kind of I did this in pencil, so I don't know how well you can see this.
It looks great. How about you let me get a picture. I'm gonna take a picture of you and I with the If what you heard today you enjoyed, if you've listened to this and you found something inspiring, please like and subscribe to this podcast. That's the best way for someone to find this podcast, maybe like you did. Please tell someone about it. If listen to some of our previous episodes, and if one of them rings out to you, please share it with somebody you know. We also invite people to join us in a face-to-face where they come together with another person to make a mask and talk about that mask together. There's short conversations, about 20, 30 minutes. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please send us a message, send us in the comments below, let us know that you're interested in that. And we look forward to you joining the movement of the Million Mask Movement. And check out our new shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but this is our new shirt, the Million Mask Movement. And so we'll have these soon available. But we look forward to you being a part of a movement and supporting our work. Please consider supporting the work that we do in Ever Forward and in the work that we do in the Million Mask Movement to let people around the world realize that they're not alone. Thank you.